And that happened ever since my ex. That's when I realized, okay, you know what? The world outside of games is nice too.
Yes! So I feel like the topic of games, it's something that is very discussed nowadays. And it's one of those things where people, there's two camps. There's the camps that defend gaming to the infinite. And
To the
there's
blood
the
and
opposite
bones.
camp, which... Exactly. And then there's the other side, which is just hating on them, be like, gaming is the worst thing to come out, and you should never ever touch them again.
Games are what make
like
criminals. There were no criminals before Minecraft existed.
Honestly, it's not even like that's like one side, but then the other side that I was kind of adhering to is like the self-improvement one, which I'm not sure if you know, but essentially they just bash and go completely against the gaming, saying you shouldn't touch it. I'm kind of, like most topics, I'm kind of caught in between the two of them. On one side, I'm like, I can 100% see how video games can be a problem when taken to the excess. But then on the other hand, I cannot deny that they're also an excellent media for
Storytelling. Personally, storytelling,
expression.
it's amazing.
Storytelling is a big one. But I can tell you one thing for sure, and that is, when do they become a problem?
Yes.
And you might disagree with what I'm about to say. When they become an escape from reality.
Yes.
That's when I think they become a problem.
Yeah.
And people will say, what do you mean games are supposed to be an escape from reality? No, they're not supposed to be. The idea is that you shouldn't try to go away from your life and to go to these games in order to escape your situation. You should try to face said situation.
There was, sorry to turn religious again, but there was one letter from Saint Peter where he said that, because in the very first book of the Bible, in the Genesis, it says the man was made to, as in man and woman, like humans were made to conquer the world or to own the world, something like that. Therefore, anything that owns the man is by default a sin. And that's why I'm against alcohol, recreational drugs, and gaming, if it's taken to an extreme. Anything that makes you depend on it more than it depends on you is bad.
Absolutely. And the thing is, there's another aspect of games that I feel like is a bit underrated, and that is, whether we like to admit or not, they actually help develop a personality in the early years.
Yes.
I think. Especially when you're at the very early stages of your life, and you kind of don't really have a character. You see these cool characters maybe like speak in a certain way or behave in a certain way, and you start to imitate that. And for the better or for worse, they might work, they might not, who knows. But you start to develop a character, and eventually you figure out what works, and some things that they do, you might keep it away. For example, I remember one of the things that the character Dante, so Dante from Devil May Cry series, one of the things that I always liked about him is he does things with style. So like
I was about to say,
there, like
just please don't try to turn into a demon, that's all.
Obviously not, like pause. But anyways, the whole point is that that was something that I tried to build into my own character, is I would always do something with a little bit of style, maybe like with a bit of flair. Or another thing that I tried to emulate is Ezio's charisma from the Assassin's Creed series. Yes, because you cannot deny that Ezio's just charismatic.
I have so much work to return to, but it is good to be home.
Work? When I was your age, my interests were mainly salve.
Incredible. I am surprised you got anything done.
As was my mother.
It was a pleasure speaking with you, Bay-Effendi. I hope you find something to hold your interest here.
I have faith I will.
Like, that's no question. And what makes him charismatic? His eloquence, his presence. Like, one of the things that I think that people don't really understand, he also like stands up straight, like up tall.
Yes, that is
like,
such a man. Can I just mention it once more? Because I think I did before, but just once more. There was this gorgeous lady, blonde, long hair, blue eyes, very fair skin, etc. Blah blah blah. Just blunt description for a second, but. The reason why she looked horrible is because she was crooked. And I mean, I'm so sorry for her because you can see the potential and how it gets wrecked. Ooh.
Posture is a mad thing. Is a
Posture.
mad thing.
And that's why I'm so grateful for my mom, especially because she's the one who kept saying, Denis, straight shoulders, chest up front, and what else? Don't look down. Always level. I love that.
Big thing. That is a big thing. But
Yes.
I can also agree that on the other side they can go really harmful. So one of the things, can I just preface right now? If you play League of Legends, fucking quit. Right off rip. Bro, if you play League of Legends, quit that shit. Your life
Yes.
will literally turn around and you will exponentially get everything you want. Bro, the story of the guy that fucking leaves League of Legends and his life just improves tenfold is so true.
It's literally
It's
you. You're
so
living
true.
proof of it being a thing.
I have proof of that shit. Literally, bro, I quit League. I touched some grass and everything improved.
Yo, flex a little, and because there will be some haters who do not believe you, tell them what's your main. What was your main?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Bro, I don't even. Do you know what's so mad? It was so long, I don't even remember what my main is, and I feel like that's a flex in itself.
I guess,
That's the
but
beautiful part.
just for sake of
That's
argument,
a
I'd
flex.
have expected you to say, I don't know. I don't know any names. Wait, Timo? Is Timo one?
Anyway, moving past that point. Multiplayer is actually one of the, maybe some of the more problematic ones, I think. Because
Yes.
they
Competitive
give you the
multiplayer,
illusion-
especially.
Yeah,
Competitive multiplayer,
competitive.
yes.
They give you the illusion of having friends. But
Oof.
those are not friends.
Wait.
I'll
There
tell
are
you
exceptions.
why.
There are
No,
exceptions.
Stop,
Okay.
Stop.
You go
Let me
for it.
stop you. I'll tell you why. Because the second that the enjoyment of the game goes away, the second that you guys don't play games anymore, there is usually 90% of the times you're not gonna see that person again.
I guess, yes. Yeah, 90% of the
And that's
times. Thanks for
100%.
pointing it out.
The second you take that enjoyment away, the dopamine, the feel good factor, the second that you remove the activity that was bonding you together, there's nothing between you two. And that's why I'm not gonna call those friends.
Yeah.
You can disagree with me on this one, you can like bring a counter argument. I do not care. This is my own opinion and I'll stand by it.
Listen, personally, I have made no friends online that stayed with me throughout the life.
Point proven.
I'm trying to think of one, but yeah, I don't really know any.
You don't
But
need to
I do
bring a
know
counter
people.
argument just for the sake of it.
But I do know people who did make friends, and that's why I want to say that there are exceptions. Even you, there's Mihai, I think. Dumnezeu.
Yes.
That
Do
one.
I speak with him anymore?
I don't know. You don't?
No.
Oh. I thought you did.
That's my
Okay, then
point.
I guess I'm gonna have to update my friend list on Snapchat.
And none of them, and you know what's the maddest part is that the second, like, I can count on the fingers the people that I've met online, and do you know, as soon as I stopped playing video games, none of those people even gave a remote about my life anymore.
Yeah.
And
I guess,
don't
I
take
mean, it makes sense,
personally.
makes sense.
Like, I'll take the L on this one, but it's just the truth.
Yeah.
It's literally just the truth. And it's a tough pill to swallow, but the sooner you do it, the sooner you actually start to cultivate proper friendships. Like, for example, the friends that I made in my social circle after I quit these games, they actually stuck around with me. One of the some people moved away from the city that we studied in order to work because they had to.
Yeah.
They still come here, like they take coaches, they take buses, trains to come here and spend time with us, the people that were left in the city, because they were some real friends,
Yes.
right? And that's what it's like multiplayers. I'm such like those ones. Absolutely, I don't think people should delve into them.
Because, man, you know,
Dare I say
single players have a built-in kill switch, and that kill switch is boredom. At one point, it gets too repetitive for you to like it anymore. And that is the, like, okay, you've had enough, stop it now.
Arkham Knight.
What?
Arkham Knight.
Yeah. I mean, listen, that's...
No,
oh.
it kind of proves the opposite.
Wait, what? No, it doesn't.
Really?
Like, no, I absolutely like it, but first of all, how can I say it? I do not have a problem living without video games. and that happened ever since my ex. That's when I realized, okay, you know what? The world outside of games is nice too.
Yes! Holy shit, sorry for that exclamation, but yes, this is the thing that people need to realize, is that there is a world outside of video games, which is just the real world. And
Yeah.
the sooner that people realize that this world is actually, it brings so much more to you than the video game world, that's when people start to try to make efforts into cultivating a proper life. But until then, you think that games is all you have.
Do
And
you
I
know
think,
that?
no,
Wait,
as clapped as that sounds, I genuinely believe that sentence to be true.
Yes.
People that are really into video games, they think that it's all they have, and it's wrong.
can I just say though, there are some nice things about games as well. First and foremost, they're the main reason why I know English to the level that I do.
Oh,
Because
that's actually so valid. That's actually very valid.
Because man, like the way I learned English was mostly from video games and YouTubers playing video games.
True. I agree.
Jacksepticeye,
Like,
Markiplier, and who else? Someone else. They were the ones that taught me English more so than the teacher that I had. She
so true,
did a great job, God bless her heart. But yes, games did a lot as well. A lot.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. For me, it was definitely like a personality thing, because, like I was saying before, I was seeing these cool characters on the screen, and I was like, bro, people must like them, and I was slowly trying to emulate them to see what works and what doesn't, and you kind of build your personality off of it, and eventually you have to kind of go out there and see if this personality that you developed actually works in real life.
Yeah.
Because if you get stuck in this cycle of games, you risk to never make it out. And you're only going to experience what the game has to offer. Whereas life has so many things to offer to you if you're willing to kind of try
Can I
hard a
just
bit
say,
more at life.
life becomes harder the more you alienate yourself from it, because you just.
It's like XP. It's like experience in video games. The less
but
experience you have, the harder it becomes. And it's almost as if you're trying to fight a raid boss, but you're level 1. It's not gonna happen.
Yes, but in like the more you focus on video games, the more you lose the EXP that you have in real life, man.
Which is the problem.
That's what I was trying to say. It's not like, oh, don't worry, it just stays there. All of my capacities and capabilities will still be the same after I return to the real world. If you focus too much on video games, then personally, for example, I sometimes find it difficult to keep looking people in the eye. And
Right.
I don't know, like, it's not like I don't have a real fear of it or anything. I just, my eyes keep drifting away. And I know it's not a good thing, but also I'm uncomfortable looking them in the eye. I'm just like, okay, that feels weird. So, I don't know. But people love it.
You didn't see this, but I literally just gave the camera like the ultimate eye stare. And I think I made a lot of people uncomfortable by that. It's definitely gonna be in the editing.
The only thing that I wanted to say is, with girls, eye contact is great. Okay, one last bad thing that I wanted to mention about video games. Now, jokes aside about crime and whatnot, I don't believe that people become criminal because of video games. However, one thing that I can attest to is that it makes you feel more at ease with things that maybe you shouldn't be so much at ease with, such as, for example, gore and blood. That's something that it's supposed to be disgusting, but especially nowadays, there was a trend.
I disagree, and I'll tell you why.
Okay,
I'll tell you why.
let me just finish.
I'll
There
tell
was
you
a
why.
trend
Okay.
where there was more and more bloody and gory games, and those actually had quite a few sales, which I did not expect them to have. But yeah, please go on. Tell me your counterpoint, because
So,
I'm
I'll
actually
tell you
curious.
why. And this is actually a very good point. I played the likes of God of War, Devil May Cry,
Fair.
Assassin's Creed,
Fair.
a lot of them which were like bloody ass.
Yes,
But
they keep a level of
struggling-
fantasy in it.
But
It keeps
I
you
was
outside from it.
struggling to watch. I was struggling to watch the likes of Saw, which is obviously,
Yes.
if you know anything about Saw, it's like basically gore to the nth degree. So
Yeah.
there is still that layer. I can still disconnect myself and say, yeah, this is just a video game. there's not a problem.
Yes, but there was a heavy element of fantasy into it. I mean, listen, what happens in Devil May Cry, for example, that floor, you cannot imagine that you're inside an actual stomach. It's so difficult to imagine it that it just feels fake. As much as you want to see it, it feels fake. But there are video games which I'm not going to get into right now.
What about Kratos giving Poseidon the beatdown? You don't know this one, but he mashes him to an insane level. Okay, I'll show you after this, obviously after this is over, but he gives him the beat down. That's some crazy shit, but I still am able to detach myself from it, and I think even with a horror game, I would be able to detach myself from it.
Are you aware of exposure therapy?
Yes,
you just expose yourself to something, and it becomes normalized to you. That's just a concept that it is. And there are so many games nowadays that just have too much blood, in my opinion, and taste. I don't know. I still believe that it is a thing. You might disagree with it. I think it actually does normalize the sight of blood or gore or things. I could be wrong, but I am a firm believer that it is actually the case.
I think most people are enough to detach themselves. That's what I'll end it off.
That's fair. That's fair. We're 16 minutes in. I think it's time we cut it up.
For sure. It's wrapped up. Like, comment, subscribe.